Are the Yankees in trouble? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Listen, the Yankees lose game 2. I had the utmost confidence in them that they were going to go in there and win game 2. I thought Rodon was going to pitch a really great game. In fact, I was kind of right in the beginning there. He looked really, really great, but he exited in the 4th inning, pitched 3 2/3, exited in the 4th inning, gave up 4 runs, struck out 7. He looked really great early on, but then he teetered off. Now, he's a momentum guy, right? Some might say, oh, he's a bit of a head case, if you will. But he's a momentum guy. It's if he's good, he's good. If he makes a mistake, you can pile it on, right? The other team can pile it on, and that's what Kansas City did. Scored 4 runs. But the bullpen pitched really, really great. We'll get to that in a little bit. Rodon, our number 2 starter, getting paid a lot of money. I had faith that he was going to go in there and pitch a great game. He did not. It started out good. It ended poorly. Now, the New York Yankee lineup. Gleyber Torres went 0 for 3. Soto went 0 for 3. Judge went 1 for 3. Austin Wells 1 for 4. Giancarlo 1 for 4. Jazz 1 for 4 with a home run. Volpe 1 for 3. Verdugo 1 for 4. Birdie 1 for 4. Birdie hit the ball pretty good though. He hit the ball in the screws a couple times. What is 2 key things are absolutely crushing the Yankees right now? You have 2 players in your lineup that just haven't produced through the first 2 games in the series. Aaron Judge, obviously. He's historically bad in the postseason. Had an awful game 1. Struck out, 3 times? Went 0 for 4. Last night's game went 1 for 3. Strikeout and a walk. That's a bit better of a game. And Bobby Witt goes 0 for 5. And I feel like you never hear anything about Bobby Witt. I feel like Aaron Judge, it's always stinks the postseason. But Bobby Witt, who's also getting paid handsomely by the Kansas City Royals, is awful this postseason. Awful. Especially in the series versus the Yankees. So, listen, Judge needs to hit. And without Judge hitting, the series is even. So imagine now if the Judge, I almost called him the Judge, if Aaron Judge starts hitting, which I think he will. I really do. I think they're going to go into Kansas City, and I can't imagine, especially this version of Aaron Judge that we saw all season long, I can't imagine Aaron Judge continuing to struggle. I can't. Maybe I'm delirious. I might be. I just had a newborn baby. My wife just freaking birthed our child. Lack of sleep. I might be a little delirious. A couple of screws loose. That's fine. We all knew that. But I think Aaron Judge, I find it hard to believe that he's going to continue playing this way, because I don't think he is. Giancarlo Stanton, his lack of mobility is crushing the Yankees. Crushing them. I think we need a little change there. Now, last night's game, he goes 1 for 4. He doesn't strike out 1 time. He's putting the bat on the ball. That's what we need. And when Giancarlo is putting the bat on the ball, things can happen. And unfortunately, things, not all great things are happening, right? He's having a tough time beating out the baseball. He's having a tough time running down the line. It's been rough watching him, costing the Yankees some runs. He did. He has. And I think for game 3, they should change it up a bit, and I think they will. I think Dominguez is going to get the start in game 3. Listen, I'm impressed that Giancarlo did not strike out 1 time last night. I am. However, we need some athleticism, and you're telling me that Dominguez can't go in there and go 1 for 4? And get on base a couple times. You're telling me that he can't do that? Of course he can. Now all of a sudden, you get that athleticism on base. That's very important. Look at what Jazz is doing. It's similar to Jazz. Jazz is an exceptional base runner, an aggressive one, but a good one. Dominguez, I think, is going to be a very good base stealer. And I think we could see that this postseason. I really do. I think the Yankees can use that to their advantage. but he needs to be in the game. And Giancarlo, unfortunately, 1 for 4. Yes, that's like a 250 average. Okay, I get it. But his ground outs, I feel like he's really trying to run. He's just really slow. He can't move. He just can't move. But the issue with taking him out of the lineup, and you're facing a righty next game in Lugo, so most likely Dominguez will get that start. You don't have that potent bat where if he squares one up, the ball's going. And that's where Giancarlo shines. And the Yankees need him to do that. They need him to do that. It's very important. And with him not doing that and Judge not producing like he usually does, of course we're going to score 1 or 2 runs in a game. Of course we're going to lose. But the crazy thing is, we won game 1, 6-5. Our bullpen's been great. Our strengths and weaknesses just flip-flopped. Garrett Cole pitches poorly in game 1, and we win. Rodon pitches, started off great. At the end there, not so much. So pitches poorly in game 2. We could have won that game if Judge woke up. If Stanton woke up. Soto, if he doesn't have an over, we could have won that game. So these guys aren't costing us any games. Right? So then you go to the bullpen. So the bullpen has been our strength over our starting rotation and the Yankee lineup. The Yankee lineup is killing them. Absolutely killing them. The rotation, not helping. Not helping either. But I wouldn't say that's the reason why we're losing. It's part of it. I won't say that it's the reason. I think the reason is we can't hit. We're not hitting. We're not producing runs. We're leaving too many guys on base. Obviously. And the grass is green. I know! Unless your dog takes a piss on it, then it ain't green no more. I know from experience. The bullpen's been so good. Clay Holmes has been sharp. Who would have thought? Who would have thought Clay Holmes? Awful this past season. Awful. And listen, they hit the piss. They hit the ball really hard off of him. They still do. And during the year, in the beginning of the season especially, he got kind of lucky. They were hitting laser beams to third base, to right field, left field. They were hitting laser beams off of him. But he was getting outs. And that's not what a closer does. A closer doesn't implement hard contact. Mariano, always soft contact. And listen, I don't mean to bring up Mariano. I'm going to compare anybody to him because there's nothing like him and there never will be. But Clay Holmes, I just never thought he was good enough to be the Yankee closer. But I think he's good enough to be a solid piece out of that bullpen. He's showing that the past few games. In the postseason. In the postseason, he's showing you that. Wild. 2 weeks ago, I was like, Clay Holmes, he shouldn't even be on the postseason roster. He's been pitching some pretty solid, important innings for us. I'm happy for him. He maybe, just maybe, if the Yankees go further and if Clay Holmes pitches exceptionally well and his numbers are good, he might land himself a lot of money this offseason just from his postseason performance alone. And I hope he does for his sake. But our bullpen's been great. Our lineup and our rotation have been lackluster. That needs to change. And if that changes, the Yankees are going to take the next 2 games over there at Kansas City. And the Guardians or the Tigers, they don't scare me one bit. I'm telling you, and everybody and their mother's saying it. I've been saying it. This is the easiest path for the New York Yankees that they've had in quite some time to get to the World Series. And I'm still standing firm on that prediction that they will be in the World Series.